Welcome to the Capitalist Sage podcast. We're here to bring you advice and tips from seasoned pros and experts to help you improve your business. I'm Karl Barham with Transworld Business Advisor. My co-host is Rico Figliolini with Mighty Rockets Digital Marketing and the publisher of the Petrie Corner magazine. Hey Rico, how you doing today?
Good, Karl.
Well, today we're having a bonus episode where we're getting to talk about some of the sage advice we learned over the
26 odd
26
episodes.
plus
Can you
episodes
believe it?
in 2019.
Yeah.
All the guests that came by and shared some of their knowledge that's
Yep.
helping business owners. So we just wanted to give, just discuss some of those that we thought were particularly impactful and talk a little bit about how they impacted our businesses and how they can impact your business in 2020. Before we get started,
Sure.
when we talk about our sponsors for today.
Right. We are here at Atlanta Tech Park in City of Peachtree Corners. It's an accelerator. It's a huge place. It's where you start off at after you're at an incubator. Small businesses, think WeWork, Share hits Silicon Valley. It's that type of atmosphere where you can meet venture capitalists, learn from others, network. There's a variety of things going on here. And we're on this road in Technology Park that's called Curiosity Lab at Peachtree Corners, which is the autonomous vehicle track, the only one of its kind really in the United States that I can say this about, where you can come as a company that's either an IoT or that deals anything with autonomous vehicles that needs 5G, where spread 5G is in this whole area of Technology Park, right? So anything that you want to test out on the mobile track or within the environment of Curiosity Lab. So it doesn't have to be necessarily in a vehicle. It could be on a light post, could be on someone walking, could be a bicycle riding, could be anything where technology needs to talk to each other, to everything. It's an atmosphere where the City of Peachtree Corners is providing it essentially free to companies that meet certain requirements to be able to come here and do business and check out their to work their projects through.
It's one of the great things about the investments that are being made in Gwinnett County and Petrie Corner in particular, and the whole general Southwest Gwinnett, that's bringing companies, technologies to make this a vibrant environment where businesses can thrive. And that's a little bit why we thought it'd be great to talk about some of the guests that helped shared some of their expertise and insight and experiences on how they've created small businesses and how they help support small business in being successful. So Rico and I will talk about a couple of episodes and what we learned about them and share that with you. And you can, of course, go and check out any of these episodes on any one of our streaming platforms.
Correct. Whether it's iTunes or iHeartRadio, just look up Capitalist Sage on any of those, and you should be able to find us.
And if you want to keep up with some of the great episodes we're going to do in 2020, definitely follow them, subscribe to them, and please leave a comment. And we'd love to hear back from what people are thinking and give us ideas of future guests.
Yeah, and if you want to watch the Facebook live stream or tell your friends, you could just like our Peachtree Corners Live page, and you'll be notified when we go live. And this year, one of the goals is to be able to put us on, to do some limited LinkedIn live feeds, and also to be on YouTube live as well.
Fabulous. So we're going to start off. When we started, one of our first guests we had was Bonnie Malden from the Malden Group, who talked to us about how small business owners can use social media marketing as part of their overall marketing and sales strategy in their business. And she shared a lot of great tips. One in particular that I know that I found interesting was the different platforms, whether you're on LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, and others, all serve different functions. They target a different audience, and they have different features about them, and knowing and understanding the right platform for your business is one of the key things.
Yeah, if you're doing business to business, obviously, I think one of her things was LinkedIn was the place to be. And if you're doing consumer, Facebook, Instagram, I think we talked a little bit even about maybe not TikTok, but some of the other software online social platforms out there. But every business has a demographic and market, and that she
Absolutely.
spoke to.
And the other thing we took away from it, where in the past you might have think it was an option for your small business, it's no longer an option. If
That's
you
right.
know of anyone that has a mobile device, they're probably communicating and getting information from their social media platform. And so it becomes really important to have really compelling stories being told through those platforms. So instead of advertising and promoting your product, we talked a lot about storytelling on information you're sharing about problems or things that your customers would want to know that would lead them to your site. They're going to know it's you when they come and visit it,
Right.
but really telling them about the problems and the choices they're making and being more educational and teaching them is a key attribute of really good, successful social media strategy.
Right. Well, they're using it as behind the scenes tool where you're showing what's going on in your office or something, or whether you're giving tips on how to use a certain product. I mean, those were the things that
Absolutely. And the last thing to note on that is definitely include a call to action.
Yes.
Once you get those people looking at your site and following you and you're sharing information, they want to know what to do next, how to get more information, how to reach you, even how to make a purchase. So including a call to action on all your social media. Now, some of you may be able to do this yourselves if you have the time, but if you don't, it's really important that you have a discussion with someone and seek out professionals that can help you with your social media strategy in your business. And it's really imperative for people that are looking to grow their business in 2020 to develop some strategy and invest in social media.
And be consistent in it and make sure you're there, because if you're not there, your competition will be there.
Absolutely.
The next one in line was Wendy Kinney. She
Yeah.
talked about how referrals are different from sales.
Absolutely. Effective networking. Many people probably have the experience, I know I have, of going to a networking meeting. It could be a local chamber, it could be a nonprofit group, an industry group, and passing out a lot of business cards and wondering why you're not getting more business and referrals from them. And what was really great that Wendy was able to share, she's a relationship marketing expert. She told us about the differences between a sales approach and how referrals are generated. And one of those differences started with the timelines between the two being different. A sale is typically between someone selling and someone buying, and it's a direct line of communication. And pretty often the impact of that is immediate. Either yes, they're going to buy what you're selling, or no, they're not. Referrals have a different timeline. They happen through a third person. So the sale that typically doesn't happen until first a connection is made between the person that's selling and the person that's referring. And usually that's built around credibility that's established, getting to know the person and trusting with the person and really understanding what they're doing.
Yeah.
But that second person, the person that's making referral, then is approaching their contact base. And when they give a referral of how you can help them by you educating that individual on what you do and how you do it and how you're doing it differently, they have the ability to identify that need in other people and therefore pass on a referral that's extremely credible because they know you, and therefore would lead back to business for the originator.
You know, and what I liked out of that conversation was really clear to me that you don't have to be going to BNI necessarily, let's say, any of the other business networking groups, but you should be going to somewhere, to some organization, whether it's a business association, a chamber, a professional association. The whole idea is, and we go back to consistency, like social media, you have to be consistent. Same thing with that, right? You have to be at those meetings on a regular basis.
We recommend three types of associations. There's over 21 different, from anywhere from alumni groups from your colleges, it could be team sports. But in any one of these things, it's being consistent and establishing and getting to learn about the people that you're referring so that you can refer them with confidence and understand what it is that they do that can help your clients. And the last thing that she mentioned that I thought was extremely insightful that changes the way you think about it is the first one that speaks about price wins. In most traditional sales approaches, you're taught to talk about value first and price later. But in referral, it's important that the person, the intermediary, the person that you're talking to that's generating referral, we call them gate openers, that they have to understand what your cost structure is. They have to understand the price so
Right.
they could set the expectation with the client. So lots of great insights
Yes.
from Wendy and talking about effective relationship marketing through networking.
Yeah. Excellent episode.
The third one was Gary Bernberg. And Gary had an interesting journey in his career from working in corporate America to franchise ownership. So he told us a little bit about how he got into franchising and was able to develop that.
Yeah, he went to, he originally thought, well, while he was in college, he thought he could do this, right? He thought he went to Subways. He thought that was great. It was a great franchise. He needed an investment. And everyone told him, you're going to college. What are you going to do? And he thought, no, I can handle it. Don't worry about it. But Subways was what he thought he wanted to do. Essentially a franchise of that nature. Systematic. The process was what he was interested in. So then he ended up, as he got older and did some other things, he ended up going back to that idea.
Absolutely.
And
later on, he invested in another sandwich franchise, Which Wit. And what was interesting in his story is how he started with just one.
Right.
And he was able to build and acquire up to 7 of them at a time. And most of that time, he was actually working.
Actually, 8 stores.
8 stores.
Yeah.
He was actually working
for the first 4.
For the first 4 before he left corporate America and went full time into them.
Right. So he was actually working in corporate America for until they got their 4th store.
Yep.
Because that was the agreement he made with his wife, who was his partner also in these things.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Because they wanted to make sure they had health insurance. They wanted to also be risk averse.
Yeah.
So imagine working for corporate America and owning 4 of these stores now. By the time he got to that 4th one, he was like, I think we're ready.
Yep.
Right.
Be able to jump off.
Yeah.
And he followed the full journey till its end, where he successfully was able to exit all 8 of the stores.
Correct. And he ended up actually when they got to the end of the 4th store, they opened the other 4 stores within 7 to 9 months.
Yep, absolutely.
After that,
and we learned when you're looking into any business, especially ones that are franchised, driving processes was really the key of the way he was able to scale so quickly.
Correct.
Learning how to acquire stores, learning how to run stores, learning how to manage personnel, staff, budgets, payroll. He learned all of that. That helped him be very successful.
Yeah, and the process allowed him a cash flow, and he expanded those extra 4 stores at the tail end out of the 8 through cash flow alone.
Yeah, did not have to take additional loans to do that.
No, and he paid off his loans also as he went, because the other ones were SBA loans, I think, for those stores. And it was a process.
Absolutely.
And he
so
stuck to it.
It shows that it can be done with a really good plan and being able to drive and follow a process if you're going down that path of entrepreneurship. You don't have to start from scratch. There's franchises out there that can help people be their own boss, but have a support of a network of the business model that it's already been proven to work.
And the fun part for me was when I first met him was with his first store at the Forum here in Peachtree Corners, and it was the only store he had, and his plan was to open 1 a year until he had like 10 almost. And he worked his plan. I mean, he was systematic and he worked it. So.
Absolutely. We also had the pleasure to talk to some folks that work in the nonprofit sector over the past year, and one of our guests that we're so thankful for was Erin Englehart, who is a program manager with the Start Me program, Atlanta, associated with Emory University and several other partners, whose goal and focus was bringing entrepreneurship to underserved areas of Metro Atlanta. And being associated with a university, they had some very smart people investigating what are some of the challenges for small micro businesses face to start and be successful. And they summed it into 3 main components of the finding, which they've addressed through a startup boot camp that the program does. The first one is access to capital. That may seem obvious. Getting capital to start a business is really important, but being prepared to get that capital, whether it's through developing a sound business plan, which they also address through delivering knowledge to these entrepreneurs, helping them with the business plan, who to talk to, how to understand the financials of their business, is a key knowledge area that they found was a challenge. But the thing that I thought that might have been underappreciated for a lot of small business owners was the aspect of networking. The mentors that they bring to bear with the entrepreneurs creates this powerful network. So it's not only each cohort that comes through the program, and they've had over 200 entrepreneurs launch through the program. They've established a huge network between them and the mentors that continually help them grow and improve their business over time. They can boast over 75% success rate with businesses that have gone through the program, which is much higher than the average for most small businesses.
Oh my God, yeah. Most small businesses fail during the first 3-4 years. I mean, the majority of them do that, right?
And when you look back as to why, they probably didn't get the right mentorship. They didn't have people that have gone down the path and made the mistakes that they're making to help advise them. But also those mentors help hold them accountable. If they say they're going to do something, having to sit down with somebody who has your best interest at heart and check in on you is a powerful tool that they use as part of this Start Me program.
And you know what I liked before we got on, we were reviewing what we were going to be discussing. I remembered you saying it was a bit like Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have networking available as well. You know, and in Shark Tank, you know, all of them had money. It wasn't the money. It was really the network, the people they had, the knowledge base, and
the knowledge and the connection
Correct.
that they could make to the community. So really good reminder of finding mentors that you can work with that help guide you when you're starting up and growing your business.
Yeah, I say Shark Tank, but it really is a much more friendlier environment.
Absolutely. Yes. And we were blessed to have some of those entrepreneurs on other episodes as well. So that was great.
So the next one that we had a guest from the restaurant industry, food industry, Cliff Bramble, owner of Noble Finn and Hungry Hospitality, which is a consulting company for restaurants. And I don't know, to me, there were several things I learned, quite a few things actually. Cliff is very much into the food industry, but he through the conversations we had with him that hour, we discussed how it is a business regardless. Forget about the food part of it. Business is a business is a business.
Yeah.
And what drives business, what's the biggest thing in business is labor, is those surprises that you get.
Yeah.
So labor was a big part that he discussed, and how he handled the front and the back of the house.
Understanding the numbers in the business, understanding sales and marketing, and how that integrates to build your revenue stream for the business was extremely important. Yeah. But a lot of people want to go into the restaurant business. Is probably the number one request that we see from buyers. They want to do restaurant, but really it's a tough business, tough industry. You can be wildly successful, but you have to be able to run it like a business, know your numbers, know your input costs, and really know how to market, figure out who your customer is and how to do a good job satisfying them.
Right, and he even talked about like down to the nitty gritty, the weeds of if you were going to buy a restaurant, you know, what's the important part? Well, to him, the important part was the amount of covers, how many people actually came in, not necessarily the sales, but how much turnover of those tables. That also, he discussed a little bit about retention. How do you retain employees in that environment?
Absolutely. High turnover industry, but driving a culture and training and having really good systems in place to train and develop people is one of the success factors that he identified for anybody out there that's in the restaurant or thinking of being in the restaurant industry.
And even more, I think, when it comes to, you know, if you're a manufacturer of product, if the product's bad, you could return it, right? food is bad, you can't quite return it the same way. You either get sick, maybe.
Yep.
And so, we discussed a little bit about the romaine lettuce callbacks
Yep.
that were happening through all of last year.
And how do you react and how do you adapt to that, to the menu items, and
Right.
really understand your supply base
Yeah.
to support your business?
And the last thing I think also was competition.
Yeah.
Different from other places because restaurants, you would think it would be other restaurants competing, and to some degree
Yeah.
it is. But he was also saying, no. I compete against also Netflix.
Yep.
You want to stay
Netflix,
home and
home,
binge,
gaming, anything
Right.
that draws entertainment time away and disposable income
Right.
is a competitor to a restaurant, especially in the fine dining space.
Yeah.
Um, our next guest, our sixth episode we want to talk about was the Small Business Development Center, small business SBDC of associated with the University of Georgia, and Greg Cruz, who came
Yes.
by and was sharing a valuable resource to the business community that exists here. The Small Business Development Center has offices all over Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
They're affiliated with the universities, so Georgia State, University of Georgia, Kennesaw University, and many others. And they provide guidance and coaching to people looking to start business, inclusive of developing a plan. And so really quickly, some of the lessons that we shared, the first one being around having a plan. And the number one thing that he found that people that struggled with being successful in business was a failure to plan. They did not take the time to develop, one, a business plan
Right.
that's inclusive of a financial plan,
Mm-hmm.
a sales plan. And you would think, why do I need this piece of paper when I'm out there to run a business? But it's really the process of planning that helps you identify some of the gaps. When are you going to need cash? How much cash are you going to need to be able to run the business successfully? Also, there's a lot that goes into understanding your competitors, and the SBDC has tools available to them to help you understand your demographics of an area, the market, the competition, so you can build a robust plan for not only the lenders that you might need to start your business, but also potential investors.
Or even evolving the idea that you had, because now armed with that information, you might realize, wow, maybe this isn't quite where I need to be.
Exactly.
Maybe able to adjust.
Absolutely. Pivoting and knowing
Yes.
when to pivot in your business is another critical factor of success.
Yes.
But if you're not constantly scanning the environment and understanding the threats, you may miss the opportunity to make a change before it's too late for
That's
your
right.
business. But the last point that he mentioned was all about people. Hiring the right people, onboarding them, and developing them.
Right.
Many businesses struggle and fail when they're not able to find and keep and retain really good, especially if you're in a service business. If you don't understand if you're in a service business, it's about the people, then you probably can't be successful in it. And really exploring in your plans, how are you going to attract and retain people from a compensation standpoint, from recruiting the right people, how do you identify what those people are? But all of those things are things that anybody in business start thinking about starting a business can get help with the SBDC that's located. You can go online and look up the Small Business Development Center in your area and schedule a time with any one of the consultants. The number one thing you should know about them, free service for
Yes.
people here. It's paid by your tax dollars,
Mm-hmm.
and the SBA, grants from the SBA, the Small Business Association, for a part of the U.S. government, to help provide this to drive economic developments in communities. So free service to reach out to them and get that consulting help if you need it.
So we're at close to the end of our time together, but I think we wanted to hit on certainly going into 2020, right?
Yep.
What we've learned.
Absolutely.
I think, right?
Absolutely.
So I know what I've learned, but why don't you start?
Sure thing. One of the things that I know that I took from last year was this emergence of social media and social media marketing and incorporating into your business. And I work in a traditional industry that helps business owners exit their business, and a lot of the traditional marketing methods were meeting people face to face and paper marketing and so on. But integrating social media into that, posting on the right platform, forming relationships with your clients and prospects, I found to be really, really effective way. And I can't say that throughout the year, seen really great success and return on that investment in time and money into building out a social media strategy. For anyone that's thinking about dabbling in it, you can absolutely do it yourself. You could get courses on it and learn and educate yourself. But if you don't feel you have time to do that, reach out to some of the many experts in that's out there, including Rico, who can help many people with that, and just have a conversation about how they can be more effective in bringing social media into their marketing mix.
So I learned a bit from our guests, because you always pick up these tidbits about social media. But because I'm in that business, I'd rather skew to something else. I learned that I really, I sort of knew, but, getting to know Karl better through the show, through this past year and doing these shows and offline, I learned a little bit more about, what do you want to do with your business? Not everyone, you start a business, you're passionate about it, you want to do it. Where are you going to go with it? How are you going to expand it? Those are all good things to think about, but then no one really thinks about the end result. Let's not call it the end, but where do you want to take it at some point? What's your exit plan? Do you want to retire? Do you want to get out of it? Do you want to downsize a little bit from what you're doing? And I learned from Karl quite a bit about what I should be thinking about ahead of time. And also from a recent guest that we had on as well. We had Corey Thrasher that taught us a bit about pitfalls of selling and buying a business. So what I learned from that was pretty much, positioning your company, because different companies are handled differently, right? And if you're a small business, like on a family restaurant, or you have a small business, a consulting business, and you're the person that's running it, it's a different value. And does that value extend further when you sell it? If you have a magazine like I do, that magazine has a value. There's an asset there. But if you're doing freelance work, which is also what I do, how's that freelance work, that gig economy, if you will, how is that valued as a business? If I'm gone, does that mean that business goes? So I've learned a lot between you and Corey and a few other of our guests.
Absolutely. David Wood came in and talked about financing and how to get your financial statements in there. And if there's one thing going into 2020 that everyone should treat themselves to, is to just think about but take a step back.
Right.
Get an advisor or a coach or someone that's not working for you, ideally, because you want someone that can give you honest feedback.
Right.
And take a critical look at your business. Look at the financials. See what other people would think about it. Get a valuation done for your business, and find out those gaps and weaknesses sooner than later when you are planning to exit the business, or when you have time to do something and make those corrections and fixes sooner on.
Like anything else in life, if you don't plan ahead, you're going to get hurt later. So selling a business does not come, I want to sell it in a month. It doesn't work that way. You need to plan this out a year or 2 years ahead to make sure that what your business is showing and the way it's budgeted and all that increases the value of your business. And that's the value I find in when I speak to Karl about things like this. He points things out that I haven't thought about, because my mind's not there, and certainly I may not have thought about it, even if my mind ended up there. But you do need to plan these things out, and it's more than a month or two. Really need to look at it for a while.
If there's one thing that we tried to do in 2019 with the Capitalist Sage, was bring you people that are in the trenches doing this every day.
Right.
We learn from people's failures. We learn from people's success. But our goal is to share this information with as many people as we can, and just get you thinking. There's plenty of people out there that can help you with your business.
For sure.
But we want to make sure you at least get some information to help you think differently about your business, so you can drive those improvements in 2020.
And you should also go back to our episodes and look forward to 2020, because we had really interesting guests that we didn't cover here necessarily, but like Lentz Penn, Food Trucks Unlimited. Just talk to him, and just knowing about how other businesses operate to me is exciting, because you sort of pick up little things that might help you in your business. And Mikola Musa Hassan, organic farming.
Organic farming, zero chemical, organic farming. right here in the metro Atlanta.
Right.
How scientists, two science educated individuals, built a business using proven techniques to produce higher yields of organic vegetables using without using chemicals or any additives to their foods, and they're building a business for their family from that.
So you're thinking organic farming, but we were able to get into the weeds, so to speak, and into the epidemiology, right?
Yep.
The bug aspect of it, and learn quite a bit about it, which, I think went beyond just knowing about organic farming, also understanding people's passions in their business.
And how they were able to merge that. We've seen that in quite a few people. Lauren Walker and technology and STEM education, merging that with building IoT technologies and teaching the high schoolers how to code and program this stuff to fill the pipeline of technical talent we're going to need over the next 20, 30 years to do this. And so many great talented people here in the community that we were able to tell. But in 2020, we're going to continue our journey, and we're going to continue to find and bring you more great guests that come in and talk. One of the areas that I know I'm excited to get more into is the entertainment business.
For sure.
We had Beth Moore, an entertainment attorney that came and talked to us about protecting your creative content that you create. Whether it's music, it could be stuff that you do on YouTube, even those crazy cat videos.
Right.
Is content that you can have copyrighted, and you can get paid if you join the right association with that. And as Georgia continues to explode with film, music, even advertising industry is becoming really large here.
For sure. Lots
of opportunity for business people, creative people, to become smarter business people and build a business.
All the peripheral businesses that come. I mean, that's why Walking Dead, that's why we become the Hollywood East of the industry, because you have electricians, woodworkers, prop makers,
costume designers,
casting agencies,
artists that are there. But it's really important to figure out how to protect your content so that you can monetize it. So 2020, one of the things that I want to explore more and going to find more business owners that are in this entertainment. I know gaming is on my list of finding some esports, some folks that are in esport businesses that are growing in popularity. Everything from artistic, music, creative producers. All of these businesses are just absolutely fascinating to understand the business side of that industry.
So that's one, and that's a big part of the thing. I'm interested totally in that, in finding out a bit more about the entertainment industry. But also, I think we're going to be looking at makers as well. That's a word, a phrase that's being used for people that create artisans that create product within their own backyard, if you will, or garage or basement, as it might be. And they're creating product that are being sold on places like Etsy, online e-commerce sites, Amazon, a variety of places. It's taking the gig economy on acceleration because you could be making quite a bit of money and be in a neighborhood that no one's even aware that you're there.
Absolutely. I love how things come full circle from mass production assembly line, and things are now becoming popular where people are building and using their talents to build things as home-based businesses, but with the immersion of e-commerce and shipping and logistics, someone can make a business from their home and be quite profitable and successful. It's one of the most popular businesses we get requests for when people looking to buy business are home-based e-commerce businesses. And if you're a maker and you're able to make things, find creative ways to make things, extremely great industry to be in the future. So we're going to look to talk to some more people that are doing that as well.
And if you have any suggestions, feel free to. First off, if you're listening to this on iTunes or any of the podcast sites, leave a review. Give us whatever that review might be, 2 stars, 5 stars. Any review would be a good review because this way people will be more easily find us. But feel free to suggest topics or companies or individuals that might be interesting, that we could get good sage advice and be able to share that with our listeners.
Absolutely.
And viewers.
So as 2020 is starting off this year, we just want to thank all of our guests that have joined us on this journey and
Yep.
share the wisdom. There's more to come in 2020. We're really excited to be able to host a podcast here at Atlanta Tech Park.
Yep.
A great
Great place.
location for not only just podcasting, but just interacting with the economic engine for this part of the county, Petrie Corners, from technology to beauty to food.
Mhm.
All of these different types of businesses is what form this community.
Yeah.
And so we're just blessed to have the support of the local business community here. All the chamber of the Southwest Chamber of Commerce,
Correct.
the Petrie Corners Business Association, and
Right.
many others have been great partners and guests on our podcast. And we want to make sure that we're responsive to the business community that's here, and that they have information that's targeted for them and that can help them improve their business. So with that, I'm Karl Barham with Transworld Business Advisor of Atlanta Peachtree. Our business advisors are available to consult with you on your business, help you figure out strategies to grow, increase the value of the business. And at this time of year, when you start and making goals and so on, it's a great time to chat with someone about what your plan is for your business, your exit plan, how you want to increase the value. We consult with our business owners in the community and help them with that. And if they're ready to sell a business or ready to buy, we can help them with that as well. So I can be reached at www.tworld.com/Atlanta Peachtree, or you can email me at kbarham@tworld.com if we could ever help.
And my name is Rico Figliolini. Do several things. I'm publisher of Peachtree Corners Magazine. Feel free to find that publication in print anywhere in the city. And if you live in the city, you should be getting it in your mailbox. We hit every household. Otherwise, feel free to go online at livinginpeachtreecorners.com, and you can find our digital edition there, along with weekly postings, daily postings of things going on in the city. You'll also find our podcast listings there, both for Capitalist Sage, Peachtree Corners Life, and Prime Lunchtime with the City Manager, along with the Ed Hour, which is an educational podcast that we do. And you could go to mightyrockets.com. I do video projects, social media, content work, anything along the digital and online area that needs to be done in a consistent fashion. I can help you there with. That's where we are.
Well, just want to thank everybody again and have a happy new year
Yes.
for everybody. And thank you for joining us on this bonus episode. Thank you of the
Thank you,
Capitalist
guys.
Sage.
Bye.